Rebuilding the Malian armed forces so they can fight for themselves. That's the #1 objective for the soldiers of 1st Battalion The Rifles, who are here in Mali on a 6-month deployment. The Brits are one of 22 European nations that make up the European training mission. 550 military personnel pulling together to advise, mentor and train.
It's to train 4 combat arms battle groups of the Malian army. Here in Koulikoro, we are at 60 kilometers northeast of Bamako, and to train them in 10 weeks. So every 10 weeks here, basically, we receive another battalion and we train it before it deploys to the north.
The north is where the troubles in Mali began, with Islamist militants starting to take over the country and push further south. Mali was on the brink of collapse before France intervened and put boots on the ground. But for the British soldiers, this isn't a combat tour, it's a training mission.
It's progressive. We start off with a couple of weeks at the beginning of basic infantry soldiering skills. We then have a 5-week specialisation period where they do 2 weeks of section level tactics, 2 weeks of platoon level tactics, and then 1 week of company level tactics.
Travelling through the dusty roads north of the capital city Bamako, you arrive at Camp Koulikoro. The European training mission has invested €13 million into the infrastructure here, making it fit for purpose and well equipped to accommodate the mix of nations based here.
What it's delivered is a professional unit that comes out to Mali to train an unprofessional, irregular army and turn it into something that is more professional and more able to deal with the role it's got ahead of itself in the north of Mali, where it will be on operations for up to a year.
The Malian soldiers here are predominantly from the south of the country. They've all completed their basic training before they arrive at Koulikoro, but this is now the serious stuff. Intense mentoring that will prepare them for their career in the Malian army. Well, this exercise is testing everything the Malian soldiers have learnt in the past 8 weeks. It's far from perfect, but the One Rifles trainers have had to accept that they can be ambitious, yet they must be realistic. Ambitious that they can train the troops to the highest standard possible, and realistic that Mali needs boots on the ground as soon as possible. It's very likely that the troops here could be in the northern part of Mali by the end of the year. Urban training here takes place in a derelict town called Ghost Village. Their mission is to secure the town hall, which has been taken overnight by jihadists. The town mayor has been captured. The troops carry out clearance operations and conduct battle procedure, all while soldiers from One Rifles are on the sidelines, advising, assessing and mentoring every step of the way.
It's really great in general, but we did something good, something bad. The instructors are right here in order to help us to get improved.
They've been great actually, and what we have had with this battalion is the majority of the soldiers are fresh out of training. So they're all new faces and they're all keen and ready to learn. A lot of them are young single guys that are really keen for the job.
We are ready to be deployed and to defend and as well protect the civilians. There is no problem. We had a training and we'll be really able to.
Training troops isn't anything new for the British instructors, but mentoring in Mali does have its own challenges.
There are days when my trainers are frustrated because the Malians are tired. They haven't been fed very well. The food they get here is not very good, and they are just like our soldiers sometimes are a little bit disinterested. But that's part of the challenge for us, is getting them back up and motivated for what we're trying to teach them, because we don't have much time with them. We can't afford to waste a minute.
Yeah, basically due to the fact that when the Malians leave this training establishment with us, when they push off wherever they push to, they're not going to have PowerPoint, they're not going to have whiteboards. So what we use here is what they can use when they deploy north or wherever they go. So we use blackboards, etc.
The language barrier can be a further hurdle, but it would seem that it hasn't prevented this training mission become a success so far. Laura Hawkins, Forces News, Mali.